I'm Lucid Fiasco, and welcome to
Titanfall 2 Tips and Tricks.
Ronin, the most polarizing Titan. Some say that he's a deadly and efficient killer, while others say that he's impossible to use and a detriment to your team. The thing is, Ronin can be both. Let's explore some quick ways to turn your Ronin into an absolute beast of a Titan. There are two aspects of play as a Titan. First is combat against pilots and grunts. In this area, Ronin is unmatched. His shotgun can take out pilots in one shot at almost any range where the weapon can get hit markers. The sword attack has much more range than a traditional Titan punch and can even take out multiple pilots or grunts with one swing. Finally, and maybe most importantly, Ronin has multiple dashes, which can be used to close distance and quickly trample waves of grunts without using any ammo. The takeaway here is that Ronin is excellent against ground troops, and it is your role as Ronin to take out enemy pilots for the rest of your team, who might not be as well equipped to do the job. The second aspect of Titan play is Titan combat. This is where Ronin becomes trickier to use, and where the major tips come into play. First, let's establish a game plan for fighting Titans as Ronin. You cannot use Ronin like Ion, Legion, or any of the other Titans, or you will get melted. You need a strategy and you need to stick to it. Our strategy will be Blitz and Retreat. Ronin is built to put out waves of damage. Your goal is to attack the enemy from behind or from the side, put in as much damage as you can before they realize what hit them, and then escape before they have time to take out your precious little health. First, let's see how to properly blitz. Your Titan sword attack does more damage than the shotgun per use, but the shotgun fires much faster than the sword can be used for consecutive swings. Because of this, you want to start your ambush with 1 or 2 sword swings, then pump all 4 shotgun shells into your enemy. You can mix in an arc wave or 2 for good measure if you think you have time. This is all about doing as much damage as possible to one Titan in as little time as possible. Remember, you want to avoid using any dashes to attack the enemy or to approach them, as you need those dashes to retreat. Unless your target is doomed and you can go in for an execution, using dashes offensively is a very risky tactic that will likely lead to you being stuck in a bad spot. So, now that we know how to blitz, let's learn how to retreat. After you've landed all 4 shotgun shells, you will need to reload. This takes time and it needs to be done in a safe area. The first step to retreating is using phase dash. This can be used to escape enemies who have you pinned in, and it makes you temporarily impervious to damage. During phase dash, you can even use one of your normal dashes to further distance yourself from the enemy while you're invincible. Once you are out of sight, only then should you feel comfortable to reload your shotgun and prepare for another blitz. Now, when you're escaping, you don't necessarily have to retreat really far away, just behind cover or with enough friendly Titans that the enemy can't zero in on you. Now that we have a general strategy of Ronin established, we're going to focus on how we can maximize our effectiveness. Ronin has 4 different kit abilities, all of which can be useful in different scenarios. I personally would suggest the Temporal Anomaly kit. This recharges your phase dash a little quicker, and it's great for getting out of tricky situations. The only one of these abilities that I would actively avoid is Highlander, which extends the duration of your sword core every time you get a Titan kill with your sword. As we will explore soon, sword core really isn't an offensive ability, so this usually isn't a good choice. Next, for Ronin's Titan kit, I would suggest Counter Ready. This ability gives you more electrical smoke, which is very useful for blocking enemies from chasing you while you retreat. It also helps against rodeos, which are devastating to Ronin due to his low amount of overall health. Finally, let's talk about Ronin's core ability, Sword Core. This ability takes away your shotgun, but gives you a higher damage melee attack. Notably, it also speeds up your dash recharge, similar to the dash core in Titanfall 1. If you really examine this, the Sword Core isn't built to be offensive. It's very tempting to run in and try to kamikaze the enemy, but it's also not a good idea unless you're cool with being doomed pretty quickly. There are simply too many counters that other Titans can use, whether in the form of electrical smoke, dashing away, using defensive traps, or just using a core ability to instantly doom your Ronin. Using Sword Core as an aggressive ability simply doesn't work because it contradicts the blitz and retreat strategy that we already established is necessary for Ronin. Luckily, the Sword Core is a lifesaver in terms of retreating. Don't use Sword Core to get into situations, use it to get out. If you can melee a couple Titans or pilots along the way, that's great. If you can use the extra dash mobility to rush Doom Titans and get executions, that's even better. To test whether or not you're using Sword Core correctly, start paying attention to whether it makes you last longer or whether you die quicker when you use it. Focus on making this ability work for you, not against you. And that will wrap up this slightly longer episode of Tips and Tricks. Hopefully you now see Ronin as a weapon in the right hands instead of a liability. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video or learned something, please feel free to subscribe or check out other videos on my channel. I'll see you next time, pilots.